Okay. Okay, so this is the 500 metres Senior C Heat 1, and it's got Lane 1 Coffs Coast, Lane 2 Derwent Storm, Lane 3 ADL Sea Dragons, Lane 4 Nowra Water Dragons, and Lane 5 Tweed. They're coming to the halfway mark. This is when it starts to hurt. This is when you find out whether you've been doing all the training necessary to keep the stamina going for the second half. From the distance and the angle I'm at, which isn't great here at the finish line, it's probably the Lane 3 got a little lead there. ADL Sea Dragons looks like they're pushing at the moment, but it can be anyone's game because people start to tighten up as we get nearer to this finish line, and it's a battle of attrition. Your muscles are burning, the lactic acid is kicking in, the breathing is like, you don't know how to breathe anymore. You're desperate for that breath. Your heart's beating away. But I think ADL Sea Dragons, as they come into the last 100 metres, have an edge over Lane 4 Nowra Water Dragons. So it's all the way to the line now in this first heat of the morning. Senior C mixed. Small boat. Remember, that's 10 people in the boat with the helm and the drummer. And ADL Sea Dragons look like they're still holding this edge all the way to the line. 50 metres to go. As they come into the line, they're being pushed by Nowra. It's ADL and Nowra right to the line. It looks like Nowra looks strong now. It looks like Nowra might be pulling in full of ADL. I think Nowra's got a dragon's head on it. It's coming to the line with 5 metres to go. ADL, Nowra, ADL. I think ADL are going to take it on the line. Nowra second. In the far lane, it's going to be Tweed who take that third spot, and in fourth, it's going to be Derwent Storm with Coffs coming in last position.
Adelaide. What did I say? ADL.
Oh,
okay. Adelaide.
All right, that's what is on my list.
Yeah, I know. All right,
I'm
just
Thank
filling
you
in next time.
Okay, what a beautiful morning it is here in Adelaide. Boats just crossed the line. Yep. If you're noticing a bit of underexposure on the finish line with the shine of the sunshine, I mean, I wish I had my sunglasses here. That will change as the morning progresses. The sun won't stay on that line forever, and the cameras will adjust as the morning goes on. So don't worry about the coverage. We've got it covered. There's cameras all around the ground. We might be introducing a few surprise cameras for you to give you some different shots today, but we'll see. And it's great to get day 2 started. 500 metres, remember the distance, over double what we did yesterday with the 200 metre sprints. And we're coming up for the next race again very shortly. Is commentary ready to take this? Okie doke. Okay. Sunny today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice.
Bright, it's lovely.
It's a bit glary though, I've got water, man.
Should be very interesting with Komodo. See how they go, because yesterday they were quite impressive. Komodo especially, don't you think so?
Yes, they were. Komodo were very impressive. They actually took out one of the 2 kilometre races and were very strong in the 200 metres. Yes.
Yeah, that was very noticeable. Adelaide come up to me this morning to remind me that there is Manly Brisbane and Manly Sydney. Did you know that?
Oh
Oh,
yes.
of course.
See,
yeah.
I could have got out of that hot water if I'd been told, but and we weren't together yesterday. So.
Allow me the conflict of interest. My wife paddles with Manly in Queensland, so there is the conflict of interest there.
Yeah. Anyway, she's going to come up and have a little chat and tell us more about her club, so that'll be okay, and it'll correct a few thoughts if you think you were from Manly Sydney. It's Manly Brisbane, but we're not looking at them at the moment. We're looking at Tweed, Sada, Water Warriors, Komodo, Bravehearts and Adelaide Phoenix, all in the lineup for this Senior A Mixed Small Boat Heat 3. Shot of Water Warriors on the screen at the moment, guys. Do you know much about Water Warriors? South Australia?
We'll just
The official guide.
Yeah,
Put you
we'll
on the
just look
spot
at
there.
official guide. Of course, the Water Warriors, one of the local teams here, and the Water Warriors South Australia, as they like us to tell you.
And they're off.
Yeah, well, racing this,
They're
so just hold that for the time being.
Yep, righto.
All right, well, we'll go to the race 79 is underway. Senior A Mixed Small Boat Heat 3. Tweed in 1, Sada in 2, Water Warriors South Australia in 3, Komodo in 4, Bravehearts 5, Adelaide Phoenix in 6. So they're all settled down. What's good to see, no problems getting away from the start line, so the sweeps are keeping everybody on course, which is most appropriate. Water Warriors South Australia, just looking at it, out in 3, may have got to a little bit of a lead early in the piece. Sada in 2 also seem as if they're doing well. Across to the other side, Adelaide Phoenix may be in the mix, but usually get to the centre lanes for the strength. Water Warriors, I'm going out to lane 3, Water Warriors South Australia. They look as though they've got the lead in this race, throwing out the challenge. Now they've done the best part of 300 metres, and with 200 metres to go, it does look as though the Water Warriors South Australia in lane 3 have thrown down the gauntlet to everyone else, leading the way. So who's going to meet that challenge? It may well come from Sada in 2 or Komodo over in 4. Over in lane 6, paddling very strongly, is the Adelaide Phoenix, so we won't count them out of the places as yet. So we've got Water Warriors South Australia and Adelaide Phoenix, also obviously South Australian, both vying here for the first position. So it's the 2,000 South Australian teams that are coming down the line, and this could turn out to be extremely close. With 80 metres to go, it is still, by a margin, lane 3, Water Warriors South Australia by a very small margin but they are going to take it out. They'll take it out from lane 6, Water Warriors South Australia in 3, over the line first, over to lane 6 second, and come back into lane 2, Sada for third, over to lane 4, Komodo fourth, Bravehearts in lane 5 fifth, and come back to lane 1, Tweed in 6th position. Now that's all unofficial, and trust me, ladies and gentlemen, we have got a very large...
They are underway for this race, so who's taking it up? I think it could be... I think Steve's going to take this up in a moment. But remember, when the first 20 strokes of any race is very important to get the start going.
Program, Senior C Mixed Small Boat Repechage. So we're into the repecharges, and the first and second and third from the repecharges will proceed through to the grand final. So important racing here in this Senior C. That's our plus 60 or 60 plus paddlers. Now lane 1 is Sada, lane 2 Tweed Dragons, lane 3 Nara, they'll be in the blue uniform. Lane 4 Power Blades will be in the red outfits. Lane 5 Derwent Storms, and lane 6 will be the Coffs Coast. So these crews racing here for a place in that grand final in this Senior C Mixed Small Boat. So it's a fairly even line as they've covered probably around 200 metres and head down towards the 200 metre gate here. And that gate is just past the Athletes Village there at the far end of the course here, or the regatta centre here, the beautiful A.M. Ramsey Regatta Centre here. And it looks like it's Nowra, the Nowra Water Dragons, maybe in 3 that have got to the lead here. On their outside, Power Blades in the red, trying to go with them. Probably holding down third at the moment is Derwent Storms in 5, Tweed in 2 also going nicely at the moment. Coffs Coast just dropping back behind the pace, and Sada back in 1. But it's in the middle where we're going to look, and it's Nowra Water Dragons with about 100 to go, and that's them in the blue. The Nowra Water Dragons in front from the Power Blades. Derwent Storms is starting to make a move. They're called upon for their effort, and so has Tweed. So they've definitely upped the rating here as they head down towards the finish line, and it's Nowra Water Dragons still just in front from it looks like Tweed coming on in lane 2, and Derwent Storms, Power Blades just can't match it with them at the moment, but it's Nowra Water Dragons in 3, still in front as they head down towards the finish line, and it's going to be Nowra Water Dragons. Tweed finishing on strongly, I think will grab second, and then it's tied for third between Derwent Storms and the Coffs Coast, but it's Nowra Water Dragons across the line first. Tweed will get second, now tight for third. Oh, nearly a dead heat. It's Derwent Storms and Coffs Coast locked there together, and then back to Sada, and then not Coffs Coast, it's the Power Blades and Derwent Storms, I should say, fighting it out for third, then back to Coffs Coast and Sada. So it was the Power Blades and Derwent that went to the line locked together there, but it looks like it's Nowra Water Dragons in 3 that will take this out from the
Lane 2, that's Tweed Dragons, and third is very tight as they cross the line and almost get it together here on the screen. And that was the Power Blades and Derwent Storms locked in a battle for third. We'll need a photo to separate that. Coffs Coast and Sada.
Friend, and loves it, absolutely loved it.
Here we go. Race is underway. Grand final.
And indeed, we are underway now in the first grand final of the morning, race 93. This is the Senior C mixed small boats in lane 1, Tweed, Manly in 2, Adelaide Sea Dragons in 3, Pittwater in 4, Nowra in 5, Power Blades over in 6. Beautiful conditions, sun shining. Not too much of a breeze. There is certainly a breeze, but not too much causing any problem, I would suggest, to any of the paddlers. Having a look down the course at the present time, now they've only done the best part of 60 metres, but I've got a strong feeling maybe Adelaide Sea Dragons out in lane 3 might have taken a jump. Manly seems to be with them. In lane 1, likewise Tweed. Now, going across to the other side of the field, I would suggest that Power Blades have fallen off the pace over in lane 6. Pittwater likewise, but it's Adelaide Sea Dragons that might be setting the pace here and throwing out the challenge. We'll get a better idea because they've probably done the best part of 250 and coming up towards the completing 300, and that is giving the definite view here that the Adelaide Sea Dragons are out in front. They've thrown out the challenge. Pittwater may be in second position at this time, or possibly Manly with them. It's going to be interesting to see those places. Adelaide Sea Dragons still
230.3. Tweed in 4th place, 233.8. Nowra Dragons in 5th space, 234.4. And Power Blades taking up that 6th spot, 235.3. So congratulations, Adelaide Sea Dragons. You are the Senior C Mixed Small Boat Champions. Here they come past their supporters now. There's Pittwater down at the side. The Adelaide Sea Dragons supporters are there as well, jumping up and down, waving their arms in the green. Such a nice thing to see as they're to wave their champions past. Refresh that browser and you'll find that it's in real time. Otherwise you might get a 15-20 second delay sometimes. The race is underway.
With the Senior B Mixed Standard Boat Championship Grand Final for 2016. And just the 4 crews qualifying here. Now lane 2 is Tweed Dragons, and lane 3 Manly, lane 4 Brisbane River Dragons, and lane 5 the Power Blades out there in the red, predominantly red uniforms. So they'll start to up their rating now as they come out of the start and go towards that first 100 metres, and then as they hit the halfway mark they'll be asked for their effort and of course lifting their rating towards that finish line. As we saw in that last race, it's right at the end that counts, and it's never over until those teams hit that line, so they keep paddling there, and of course calling that is the sweep, urging them on, and of course the rhythm kept by the drum. Now Power Blades in 5, probably holding down 3rd just in front of Tweed. But it looks like now the Brisbane River Dragons have certainly upped their rating. They've put their foot on the pedal and they've been asked for the effort now, and away they go. So it's Brisbane River Dragons in their traditional blue, red and yellow caps, and they've opened up a break now on Manly, holding down 2nd in 3, and then we've got Power Blades out there in lane 5 in 3rd position from Tweed back in 2. But it's the Brisbane River Dragons in front with about 50 metres to go, and it's lane 4, the Brisbane River Dragons, who are going to take this out, and they're a good boat length in front now. So it's the Brisbane River Dragons crossing in 1st place. Manly will get 2nd. Now there's probably a boat length behind. It's going to be very tight, and it looks like it'll be lane 2. Tweed have come on very strongly in lane 2 in the last 50 metres, so Tweed have certainly upped their rating and put in the effort. I think they've grabbed 3rd just in front of lane 5, which is the Power Blades.
Thank you, Steve. I don't think we need an action replay for that one. Brisbane River Dragons clearly in the lead all the way down the course, winning by a dragon boat length. Well done to Brisbane River Dragons. We'll give you the results in a minute. Manly, I think, took 2nd. And here we go. Here's the results. 205.0 was enough to bring Brisbane River Dragons to the gold medal. Manly 208.3 in 2nd. In 3rd,
as you can see, as the results have come up on the scoreboard,
and in 4th position,
the electronic scoreboard we've got here down in the food court area,
senior B mixed
it is the Brisbane
boats grand final.